Our thanks to Vox Mentor, the organization that produced this book, and to the president, Roberta Prada, and to Francis Keeping, already introduced by Andrew Farkas, goes special thanks for this lovely creation that entertains us. That book over there entertains us, but makes us think also. Think about what? About the fact that the beauty and the challenge of caricature appears to be yet one more way of approaching opera and its characters, and of better knowing and loving opera. The caricature of opera, because this is what this book is about, caricatures of opera characters. Opera characters, composers and conductors and opera singers in caricature have a long tradition. There are many examples of Italian opera, of French opera, seen through its popular political caricatures in the 1800s, a time when caricature became an art. Many of you will remember some artists like Honoré Daumier, who lived in the 1800s in France, and he produced so many caricatures. He was an artist of caricature. And Andrew just reminded us of Caruso and all the caricatures that he made and inspired in the early 1900s. And also, opera is sometimes caricature in itself because of the excessive characters, of the excessive plots. And sometimes it is caricature because it is comic opera, like Gianni Schicchi, for example. Many of you will remember, will know this comic one-act opera by Giacomo Puccini, Gianni Schicchi. That is actually a musical caricature of my ancestors, of the medieval Florentines, in their greed and how stingy they were. You know, this is the subject of Gianni Schicchi. Or opera characters can easily degenerate into caricatures. For examples, this can happen to Rigoletto, when not well conducted, not well sung. You know, such an opera can turn from tragedy into caricature if misinterpreted. We define opera as classical music, but at the same time, it was one of the aspects of the popular music of the past. This makes it a subject for caricature because it was so close to the popular perception. Opera characters in the past were like real people for the audience. They were the popular heroes for young ladies, for children, for all sorts of individuals and social groups. This is very important to me, bringing intellectuals and the people all together in appreciating opera and its characters. One would easily make fun of opera characters, in most cases, just out of love, because they loved the characters, their plots, their stories. Personally, I was brought up on opera plots. They were my fairy tales when I was a child. The madness of Lucia, the pranks of Figaro, the tragic destiny of Rigoletto and Violetta and Carmen and Scarpia, and so many more characters and their stories. And I remember how they would make us children make jokes about them, give impressions of them, and laugh. And people in Italy, and also in France, but in Italy in particular, would name children after opera characters. In my family, many people in the past generations, were named after opera characters. That was, common at the time. Now, this book, this close relationship, a sort of friendship between opera characters, opera plots, singers, and the people, has undergone many changes in time. Opera has changed. opera characters are no longer among the popular heroes of our time. There might be a few exceptions, a few attempts, but it is getting harder and harder to see the continuity of this tradition of friendship and caricature in our time. This book offers an unusual contribution to the continuity of this tradition of a friendly relationship to opera characters. It is a way of feeling close to opera and its characters again, of interacting with them, of looking at them from various perspectives, from original standpoints, and with participation and with a smile. This volume consists of images by Francis Keeping, just introduced to you, and texts. This is also very important that now music specialists, specialists of other subjects, as well as music lovers of all kinds, not in the least specialists, gathered together in this book, illustrating in words the characters that Francis Keeping portrays in shape, in color, and as you can see, in light. So I think we should welcome this fine volume that indeed deserves resonance inside the tradition of opera caricature. And I'm sure that the other panelists here this evening will be inspired by it and will celebrate it, each one of them, from the impressive background of their wide personal experience in the field, in the wonderful field of opera. Thank you. And thank you to the authors, and back to Andrew.
Thank you very much.